I just want to preface this video by saying this is not a tutorial. This is me just documenting something that I enjoy doing in my free time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That being said, I still would like to hear your opinion. What you liked, what you didn't like. Do you think this is even real art? Should I leave the finger painting to the second graders? Roast away. Regardless on whether you hated it or you enjoyed watching my process, thanks for watching.
I was recently gifted some canvases from a friend who was no longer going to be needing them. She gifted them to me in hopes that I would create something. I usually work on wooden panels because I like to work with epoxy resin, but because of the size of these canvases, I'm going to stay away from resin and create something that is fluid, acrylic, maybe mixed media. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that I'm going to start by mixing some paints up, and I'm going to take you guys along on the process. The canvas I am going to be working on is 12 by 24 inches. There are a few minor damage points to it, some wear and tear from shuffling around and moving. Start with a good just whitewash coat to kind of prime it. Look at Pinterest, see if I can find some colors that I'm feeling are inspiring and get mixed in.
Okay, Google, play my art playlist.
Alright, your Spotify playlist called Art and Sundays.
I like the muted tones and the combination of red and green together. We're gonna see if we can recreate something similar. I usually like to use my past paints that I've mixed as a base for any sort of new projects. Fortunately, all the colors that I have mixed in the past don't quite really work for what I'm looking for. To start from scratch for a lot of these paints. Hopefully, my color theory is okay today, and I don't mess this up. For my whitewash coat, I am just going to use some student grade acrylic white mixed with a little bit of water just to thin out the consistency ever so slightly. I did find two that I think would act as a good base for this project. So for two of those colors, I'm halfway there. The other colors, excuse me, the other colors I pulled were these guys. Hopefully they will be able to get me to where I want to be. Hi, it's been a couple days. I've done some things in that time. I played some board games, I went to the island for a work trip, had some great poutine, and now I'm here to make some mediocre content. My game plan for tonight is to mix up some paints. That's probably all I'll get done. It is pretty late. Let's get going. So, paints are mixed. I could have sat there all night and filled with the colors, but my eyes are tired and it's time to go to bed.
The next clip was supposed to be me explaining how a couple days had went by and apologizing for being in my pajamas and my mismatched socks. But watching back, I realized this clip is completely out of focus, so I will spare you of that. Here's me explaining instead. So this is what it looks like for me. Lots of really cool detailing. I'm done work and the sun's still up. So I'm gonna do some painting. Last night, some weird things did happen. There was parts of the painting that kind of like cracked up. I know there is a reason why the paint does this. I read about it online a long time ago and I never retained that information. I'm gonna show you what I mean. I have a solution. I'm just gonna work it into the painting and we're gonna roll with it. I'm going to be working on fixing the cracks in the white paint. To do this, I am going to be using the Pebeo Antique Gold Fantasy. My theory is if I squish the paint down into the cracks and then wipe the surface, it'll be left just in the cracks and I think it'll create a cool effect. I'm going to pull you guys in so you can get a better idea of the depth of these cracks and how many of them there are. There are some areas of the
painting that I do like. Some of the details did come out pretty neat, especially for being only the first layer. There are some areas that I think need a little bit more work, so I'm going to mask those areas off and start building up the layers. I'm sorry that the lighting in here and my face both look like trash. So it happened. I hit the ugly painting stage. I reached out to you guys on Instagram. Thank you for everyone who took the time to participate in my poll or send me a direct message. I definitely read all of your suggestions. I'm still not certain what the next step is. When I do hit this point or this roadblock, I like to try something new. I'm not sure if it's going to lead in the right direction, but let's give it a go. So, not gonna lie, I'm still really struggling with this piece. Fully accepting the fact that maybe it's just gonna be ugly. In my last desperate attempt to plan out what to do next, I took the piece over to Photoshop. I'm not sure if this is gonna pan out, but I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm going to be taking some Liquitex gouache and soft body acrylics in similar colors to the painting, doing some fine detailing. Then I'm going to take the remainder of my fluid acrylics that I have mixed up and apply the last layer. So this piece is probably gonna go in my bucket of fails. I just think there's too much going on. I do like how the red and green tones play together, but where I think I lost the color palette was in the beige. Regardless, I would like to hear your opinion, what you think I could have done differently, or even if you consider this art. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and hopefully the next one's better.